Command 97. I'm sure this is not the face you're expecting to welcome you to Naija Commandos, but I'm the guest host for this particular episode, and it's the second anniversary of Naija Commandos online, where you get to share your experiences, about our great alumni and how it has shaped you. I've been on it, and it was a great experience. And today, I have the honor of presenting to you two amazing guys. I call them amazing guys, off the cuff. I call them boss, but they're my seniors, and they actually started this whole thing. And it's always good to kind of give honor to whom honor is due. We're going to be talking about so many things. We'll start from what the experiences were like in command, from day one, that drop off in front of the auditorium. I want to hear from them what it was like for them, and then getting into the hostel and having to face the reality, realizing that it's not you eating at your dining table with your parents that night, and you're going to be sitting with hundreds of people. And I think it's going to be quite an interesting journey to also get to know about why they decided to create this platform. So if you're joining, you want to stick around, you want to hang in there, because every bit of this is going to be interesting. So welcome to Naija Commandos. This is the second anniversary, and I'm the guest host. Again, my name is Jumoke. I finished in 97. So first, I'd like to introduce one of the co-founders of the Naija Commandos online, the YouTube channel you all watch. His name is Ifedapo Olowe, and he finished in 1988 in command, the group that we had, the Form 1 to Form 5, not the SS3 people like us, and he was in Flying Horse. So please welcome Ifedapo Olowe. Bros, welcome.
It's actually interesting to be on this side. I'm listening to you, and I'm still kind of getting used to it, because we once on the opposite side questioning people. So this is actually
right. So you are now in the hot seats.
Oh yeah.
So get ready for the questions. And he's not alone. I have another guy who's always been part of this project. So right now, his name is Goke Taiwo, and Goke finished in 1988. He was in Tiger. Oh, sorry, 1989, my bad. 1989. I think he produced in 1988 first. Got into my mind. So he finished in 1989, and he was in Tiger House, and he's also the co-founder of this Naija Commandos, what we've always enjoyed and watched online. Welcome, Goke.
Yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming to host, and as a professional journalist, we appreciate you, and we are in the hot seat today.
Yeah, so get ready. You have the opportunity to call a friend, or you want to go 50-50. Okay, guys, let's get right to this thing, because I am eager and itching. I want to hear your stories, because I've heard many people's stories on this platform, but I think it's time to hear from both of you. And I will definitely, this is a modality, I will throw the question to you with your name, so you know when to answer. So that way we're just kind of taking turns talking. So I will start with Ifedapo. And one thing I should also add right now is that, until a few more days, he's currently the president of the Comlag North America chapter. So I'm talking about Ifedapo Olowe. And he has championed that chapter for quite some years. So I want to give him a round of applause right here for all he has done. So let's get to your big boss. Let's talk. Tell me what it was like. What day did you resume? Because I can remember the day I resumed and I was dropped off at that. It's a day that it's etched in my memory. Let's talk about that first day, getting to school, the reality for you.
This is one thing many people don't know. Goke doesn't even know this.
Wow.
I did not resume with my classmates.
Oh, really?
I did not. I resumed mid-season, mid-term. That's when I resumed. I don't know what happened with my admission. I started with another school, at Bishop Age in Mushi area. My father was the principal there. So while they were working out the modalities, so one day they just snapped me from school, bro. Yeah, you're going to command. Although I had done the interviews, you come for interviews, and I've already prepared. Just like that, I came to school mid-term. And it was challenging, because some of those kids were already familiar, right? My brother were already familiar with the environment. So I'm looking at Google like, hey, this is serious. Then, thank God I came for the interview. That helped me to kind of adapt. And back then, the seniors were not too wicked, to be honest with you.
Like that.
I'm serious. They were not too wicked. I was sharing with Adifula today, the national president. I can't remember, maybe one senior in my 5 years that was really mean to me. It wasn't something common, you know what I'm saying? So I came in, and the biggest challenge I had was to catch up academically. I remember when after the first term and the results came out, and I was kind of in the middle of the pack, right? We were about 150 or 88 sets. I was out in the middle, and my mom was like, okay, try. So that was how I started my own journey in command. But I tell you one thing, the morning work was what first got to me. So getting to school, they were already assigned morning work. The very next day, hey, let me tell you, I was told to be sweeping outside the dormitory.
That was your morning duty job.
Yes, that was my morning duty.
Morning duty, yeah.
But you couldn't use regular room. You know, the thing is rock and sand. So I remember we had to cut branches from all these shrubs around the hostels and make it to a broom because they were just thick wood. And that was what I used as broom. I improvised. And guess what? I became so good at it that it became my regular morning schedule. So I was kind of lucky. I didn't end up in the bathroom.
Wow, okay.
Better than anything else.
Some of us weren't that lucky. Some of us had the bathroom shifts for quite some time. So
I did not have a bathroom shift.
that's good.
Let me tell you, one of my funniest experiences as a commander. I was a senior. He had this brand new underwear, right? I remember yesterday, like brand new blue underwear. The thing was just brand new. He washed it. It was sitting on the balcony of the top floor, and me, I was on the down floor my whole years in command. So he gave me the stuff to go and dry, to go and put on the line, and he was watching me the whole time. I dried the thing, man. So after school, after classes, I'm going. The guy was waiting up there for me to bring his underwear, but he can't see it. He's gone.
Wow.
The underwear was gone. It was actually nice looking underwear, but he didn't punish me because he knew I couldn't have stolen his underwear.
Yeah.
In the same house anyway. So that thing, you should see how angry he was. Then I was scared. I thought he was going to whip me.
Wow.
Like, because if he didn't see me put it there himself, I would have been in trouble.
True.
Yeah, so but apart from that, my life in command was pretty easy. I didn't suffer too much. I know I had some scars, you know, from some crazy seniors, you know. I had a big scar here. You know what? Back then you had margarine.
Yeah.
When you open the margarine, so I'm in there, you know, and I had the margarine in my hand, and as the senior came and pulled it from under me while it was open. So
wow.
Tore me up. And that day I wasn't hungry anymore.
Yeah.
Yes. And the guy looked at me like, sorry, and just walked away. There was no health center.
That saved you from doing some chores when you go back to the dormitory. At least you had a cut, you would have gone to MRS or to get it fixed or something.
I did, but like I said, I can't remember being bullied in command like that. So I had a good time. To be honest with you, it wasn't that bad. Although I hated command, to be honest with you.
Wow, you hated command, but you still had a good time.
Compared to the stories I hear.
Yeah.
Different. I didn't have that kind of.
But I think it changed. You know, you talking about seniors very, very brutal in your time, and I think people changed. That senior who sent you to put out their underwear so that I remember seniors who didn't even send you to put it there, who put it there themselves, and so they find out that it's missing. And guess what? The old hostel gets in trouble for it.
Yeah.
Right, the whole hostel is in trouble for it. So I think it was maybe times changed, or maybe people just became, I don't know. Yeah.
In my case, like I said, I didn't have any senior that I could say was wicked, to be honest with you. I had one guy named me 8th command. It was one guy. I was in Form 4. And apart from that guy, I couldn't remember anybody else. But I hated command because the environment was just harsh. The hunger. I used to read door. I didn't read any. I didn't have the goals to read any. But let me tell you, I was reading cassava farms and Agbado.
We'll get to that. Because I know that with boys, it was a different kind of demon for boys than for girls most times, right? Girls didn't have that opportunity to kind of scale the fence and go to particular places where the boys would go to. So we'll get to that, but let's bring in Goke at this point. And let's talk about Goke's experience being dropped off, that first day, meeting the people, your classmates, seniors, being set up in your dormitory.
Oh, okay, thank you. So if and I have something in common a bit too. I started a week or two after my mates resumed in Form 2. So it's interesting. When I did my command entrance, my dad put Kaduna because he was serving in Jos at that time or something, in the army. And by the time my admission came through, because he actually took me then to Jos and to Kaduna, for the interview and all that. I was there for an interview and all that kind of stuff. By the time it was resumption, they had posted into Benin. So my dad didn't want me to go because that year, around that time, there was this Muslim riot. This Muslim riot and stuff. So my dad was like, no, you're not going there. Yeah, because of the riot, but he won't have time to be running from Benin to Kaduna and stuff like that. So he changed it for me to go to Command Bay. You understand? And which pissed me and my mama for that stuff, because I was like, what? So I went to Command Bay, and he said, don't worry, you go to Ipaja the next year. And if you want to do MMS again, because I've done MMS at the interview there, so that you can do MMS and stuff. So I didn't bother on that one, because I didn't want to go and start from one till they didn't transfer. So so I came into Ipaja in Form 2 on first or second week, because my brother came into Form 1, so I didn't start the exact same day as him. I came like a week later. And for me, we drove into command, my mom and I, in military jeep, straight to Commandant's house, spoke to Commandant, and drove straight to in front of Tiger House.
Wow.
So my mom was with me. We drove straight to Tiger House.
You're one of those who didn't have to kind of carry your mattress and your bed and your box from the auditorium to the dormitory. Okay.
Popsy and Alao knew each other. So they drove me all.
Given the privilege,
exactly. So and handed over. I think the house captain came, or I can't remember, but they handed me over to the house captain, Maurice Mama. So when they saw this provisions, I became school son immediately and stuff. Now the good thing about coming to Tiger House was there were a lot of people in my set from Command Children's School, Ikeja Cantonment. But immediately I got there, they just looked at me, Oketairo, Baby, Yuzwo, Sulema Momo. There are a lot of us who are in Command Children's School. So the minute they saw me and they were in Tiger House, they just recognized me immediately. I said, Goke, what's up? You're here. And that's how I integrated, and so I was shielded a bit just because I had a very good house captain. It's not that people didn't deal with me, but if he caught you dealing with me, it was kind of tricky. My stresses started with Form 3. When he left, oh my God, I heard it. But Form 2, I was kind of shielded, although I didn't have people deal with me and stuff like that, but I was shielded a bit because the house captain was my school father at that time and stuff. And my brother had I can't remember, the cadet commander was my brother's school father in Octopus House. So both of them kind of protected both of us though, in a way. And things. So, but later we heard it though and stuff.
So it sounded like both of you, maybe it was a thing, because I know it sounded like the supplementary list. There's the main list that comes out when you go in, and then the supplementary list is when you resume like a week or two.
I was not supplementary. I was on transfer. Okay. For some reason, there was something that I can't remember why I didn't start on the exact same day. You understand? Because I knew I was not going to Command Day anymore. You understand? My dad said, you're going to Ipaja. You're definitely going to Ipaja, not Kaduna anymore. So, I just started a week later. Maybe it was like doing the uniforms, because the Ipaja uniforms are different, because the Command Day one has this green stripe.
It had a green stripe.
Yeah. So we dumped that one. So I had to do new uniforms and also getting all the stuff together and things, because I remember my mom came to school the day she dropped my brother out to get a list of stuff. I think we had gotten the admission, but just more of to get all the stuff I needed and things, and also organize what house. Yes, I think one of the problems was they didn't get the house quickly that I was supposed to get into. So I had to show the Tiger House, day wear, and all that kind of stuff. So I think maybe that was it. I had to ask my mom the exact job. I know it was something
I was supplemental list, man.
Comment on that was not supplementary list.
But there was nothing wrong with being supplementary list. It was just that you were not resuming with other people and
no, I didn't resume.
and stuff.
I didn't carry box. They drove me. The Land Rover drove all the way to in front of Tiger House.
Now I see where the problem we have in Nigeria is coming from. I guess the dormitory and some of us have to know our things from
They drove Land Rover all the way.
Let me start with you, Ife. Let me ask you this question. So you got there. I remember you sharing the story of the senior who kind of baptized you, pulling down the blue band through your hand and giving you that cut. In dining hall, what was your favorite meal?
To be honest with you, it was the bread and geisha.
Oh, okay. There was bread and geisha in your days.
Yeah, yes. Let me tell you, man, that bread was so fresh. It was right from the bakery.
Wow.
So you just put the geisha in between. Oh my God.
And the school supplied the geisha too.
Yeah, it was true that they made a pot that you share from.
Okay.
It was a pot of like, but it was.
The sauce. There was like a sauce. Yes.
But there was fish in it. It was delicious. It was delicious.
What was yours, Goke?
Yam. Yes, I think it was yam and corned beef. Those days. Yeah, back in the days. Yeah, we did. Yeah. We had corned beef now back in. So I liked that one. Whenever it was that meal, I enjoyed it. But my first time in dining hall, I suffered. My first day, we went to dining hall. I think the next morning, so it was the next morning where they put me on a table. And those days when we were there, they used to mix seniors and juniors together.
Okay.
So back in the day, so for illustration, using my my glasses case, they would tell two people to share one loaf. Right? I remember. Yeah. Back in those days. So a senior would drag a junior that, okay, me and you are sharing with you. And RSM will be walking around, say, okay, put your hand together, kind of stuff. So back in the days, how the seniors do it is they will put their hand, less than half. Okay, but their palm is at the top, almost at the whole thing. So by the time you now cut, right, and they now say, we are cut after they've done the prayer and everything, the announcement, the guy now took almost everything. I just had one little teeny thing. So I'm looking at him, the guy was like, shut up there, my friend. Wow. I just, for football, I can't remember who he was. But just me to shut baby, he slapped me, and then I was like, what kind of chanting is this? But I was trying to complain. You understand? Because I just came now. The guy was looking at me, you are still talking.
And you want to complain?
I now realize that I'm really in a regimental school.
You're in a different place.
And I was trying to and he was looking at me. The other juniors that were there were just quiet, looking at me. Yeah, this was just coming. He thinks, I was like, okay. We beat you. You're just threatening me throughout the whole thing. I was like,
maybe that must
they changed it. That's why they changed it.
Exactly.
Yeah, they changed and put you on your list.
Were you guys on each table then?
It was 10. 10. But they were seniors and juniors.
Well, up until I finished with 10-10.
Yeah, it was 10-10, but he chanced me and I did find that funny. So that's why now.
Ever experience being punished and told to go under your tables, like when you all had
we did all that. Crawl out. Did you guys? We crawled out of the hall to my junior days. Oh, big time. It's always worse when new prefects come in. They are wicked. So I remember in Form 2 when the new prefects come in. They would just come in and they were just wild. So you're just
right after they've just announced them as acting prefect.
Yes.
That afternoon into the evening, it's going to be hot.
That's when our anxiety and high blood pressure went up.
I'm still coming to you on that. They didn't brutalize you. You have to tell me how you dealt with juniors too.
Okay, all right, I'll get there. Let me tell you, my worst punishment was, for me personally, when you roll as log. You have to roll as log, and I was butt naked. I was completely naked, and the senior was following me and flogging me at the same time. Wow, really?
Were you the only one, or was it like a group punishment?
I had the group once, and then one there was only me. Wow. Yeah, And it was
That's
on
one of the
grass.
things I don't think, well, I never experienced. I don't think girls really got to that point. The ones that I can really relate with is that dining hall one where, seniors ask you to crawl from dining hall to girls' hostel on all of the gravel and all of the, that very spiky, the stones. And then there's no, at times you try to jump, you crawl and jump. So that's what I can really, wow. All right, guys, I'm really enjoying this, and I'm sure everyone is. And if you've just kind of, joined, or you're scrolling through, wondering what's happening, I'm speaking with Ifedapo Olowe, Command 88 Flying Horse, and he's one of the co-founders of Naija Commandos for Life that you watch on YouTube. And I have Goke Tayo, the other co-founder. They created this platform for all of us to share experiences, connect with each other, and hear what, the differences and what has happened over the years. And the things I'm hearing from you guys sounds like a lifetime ago. When I hear you talk about eating that sardine soup and geisha and corned beef, I'm like, when we got to command, things. My sister would also say that they had the poultry. We didn't eat chicken. We did not eat chicken. I remember being on the show with one of my classmates who's currently in London, and we're talking about how tiny the piece of meat was for us. Just like the top of your finger, and you still had to share with someone. It was as if, you were both sharing. Now it sounds very gross to even think about it.
I think austerity has elevated. The commandants were chopping money.
It was a very horrible experience. And the person, if, God bless you, you're sharing with someone who is greedy. They suck out the liquid from the meat before biting and passing it to you. Like, right now, I can't even imagine it. So let's talk about, you have been through all of this, and command, you've been through the school went through you too, because these experiences are not isolated, right? You learn some things. It was formative years for a lot of people, a lot of us, because we're just getting into the age of 12, 11, 12, 13, depending on how old you were before getting to school. So let's talk about who made the most impression on you. It's an impressionable age for you at that point. Was it a senior or was it a teacher, or, the impression that who was that person who influenced you, or maybe a group of people? Now, let's give it to one person because it might be difficult, right? But who were the group of people? Who was the person, if it's one, who really made that great impression on you while you're in command? Let's start with you, Goke, because I started with Ife the other time.
I think a couple of people. So I had an art teacher, Nelson Graves, who was very good, and we always used to talk about his education in the US and stuff like that back then. It was kind of interesting. But he made us pay attention to art for those of us who had loved art. And I also represented command with a few other Air Force, Navy schools in my Form 4 that Ipaja won, where it had to be kids who their parents were military officers. So I wasn't the best in art in my set, but I was at least, and those that your parents were military officers were part of those. So I went to Air Force in Ikeja for a whole summer, and Ipaja won with our drawing. So that, I think also, as much as I didn't like RSM's regimental stuff, I think I'll say RSM because Alao to the military part was because that discipline that they put in us, makes me very disciplined today. I'm principled. Alao for his principle. So I'm very, very principled, and I'm very disciplined. But also command, that same RSM and seniors made me to become stealth. I'm very good at becoming stealth, like being under the radar and people don't notice me. So I am very good at that. I learned that from command, and I still do that till today, where I'm kind of invisible. When I'm visible, then I know how to just disappear. So that, it's true. It is bad. I can do that very well.
Like that, Ife. When in dormitory, they know how to appear and disappear.
Yeah.
It's time to get the job.
Very elusive. Okay, very elusive.
Yeah, I know how to run away. Yes, because especially my Form 3, when I had no school father anymore. Hey, they were showing us seriously. So perfect example, when I was in Form 2, and someone sent me to Dragon House to go and do things, and they were punishing Dragon House people. Next thing, they told me to join them, and I'm trying to explain to them, I'm really Tiger House great. I was just saying, my friend joined them. That's one of the reasons I hate that house. That's my first experience.
Dragon House,
yeah, so I walked in, someone sent me to go and get something. I walked in, And next thing, they're punishing on the guys I should join them. I'm looking at it, and then I'm like, but they said we just slap it down, my friend joined them. So I'm now doing the punishment with other people. I'm like, what the hell? And I told my mates, all of them were. That's why whenever they used to send me to drag out, I never used to go. They would say, I went there, I didn't see him. One senior kept sending me there. I said, let's go together. Well, I thank God when we got there, and he was like, I sent this guy come and he said, oh, I was in Scorpions, I just came back. I was so happy. I was so happy.
That was just very
yeah, so I never liked those drag out because of that very first experience of working there, and they had me join the people over there on punishment when I don't know what happened. But that was when I hated that house completely because of all them. They had wicked house captains too, Jesus Christ. So that was another thing.
About discipline, okay, right? I think for some people, they would take discipline as relative, right? In the world we're living now, I've heard people, I mean, many people refer to experiences in command, okay, as harsh, brutal, like, unfathomable at that point.
So I'll say something. My discipline started before I came to Ipaja. My dad was a disciplinarian, right? A military officer, a strict disciplinarian. My mom in primary 4 stopped the batman from your dad was in the military from washing our clothes. We had to start washing our clothes. You knew we were going to go to boarding school. When I was going into command, and even my brother, right? My dad told my younger brother and I, if they suspend you, don't come home. If you misbehave, and so he gave us standing rules. That's why, if you ask my classmate, I never snuck out of school to go somewhere. I never spent time in grad room. I was not scared of commandant. I was scared of my dad. So Colonel Alao knew my dad. Every time you see me, daddy and stuff like that, you always come and commit. I said, Obidipe knew my dad and Obidipe knew each other from secondary school. They went to rival secondary school, so they knew each other. I'll come and commit when he knew me. So I was always too scared for them to report me to commandant. And even when I did one stupid thing in Form 3, I begged the hell out of the boy and gave him my food for 1 week, just so that he can't report me to Lawal. Because I knew it was suspension. We played the prank on someone and it went wrong. You understand? So we had to beg him. I knew I was even the one begging the most because I could not go to commandant.
One thing that you skipped at the beginning of this, okay, that I want you to go to is, Ife told us he was very good at sweeping the lawn with branches and everything. What was your morning duty? Or you were also lucky to kind of get off on that one?
No, okay, so for bathroom I did it in Form 3, which was bad. It was the worst. I think in my Form 2, when I came in, sweeping the lawn, I hated that one. Yes, because back in the days, especially for Tiger House, you have to sweep in a pattern. You sweep in this way, and when you turn, you sweep in this way. So they need to see it in a Tiger House. Anybody who was in Tiger House knows this, that the people who swept the front of the lawn swept in patterns. So you start with your right, then turn and start to your left. So when they come and stand, they need to see the pattern. Wow. If you don't sweep it like that, you're going to start again. You understand? I hated that, but you did it. So I hated that particular punishment, that particular chore that we had to do. But it was a pattern. The Tiger House boys know that thing, that it had to be a pattern. I hated that, but I preferred that one to use bathroom and toilet. Anyway, okay. Yeah, I hated that one.
Just quickly, and for people who are watching, let me tell you, Ife recently returned from a trip to Nigeria where he visited Command Secondary School Ipaja. Now, for me, going to school after resumption, there was one prayer that I always had, that I'll get to that first gate, that first gate you all come to, and then I'll see resumption has been postponed. But my prayer never came through.
Never.
It never came through. Even when things were bad, I remember the riot. There was a riot at some point. I was hoping that, they probably sent all of us home. They didn't. They kept us in school, right? So my prayer was never answered. You're
in the military school. That will never happen. ASU does not touch command schools.
If you were in command recently, as recent as a couple of weeks ago, getting to the gate, getting into the school, what memories did it bring back for you? And then from that answer, we will go into, who inspired you in terms of, impression, who made the most impression on you. So I'm giving you like a double barrel question right now.
Right.
So the gate is different. So from what
Okay.
I'm used to, the authentic, rugged look. So you drive into command now. Back in the days, it was you driving through the jungle. There's this almost broken down bridge, this wooden bridge that you have to cross over. And then when you hear that background, your car is going over the bridge, that's when your heart begins to beat. That you know you are close to the gate. Now you drive and you're not careful, you will go, you pass command gate. It's shops everywhere. If they had this
Wow.
shop back then, I'll be eating outside every time because I always like to bulk. But now there are shops and food canteen, restaurants everywhere in front of the gate. So the
Wow.
gate is new. The new commandant has built a beautiful gate.
Oh, that's
So for me, the one that got to my attention that actually gave me some flashbacks was the second gate.
okay. Tell me
As
about
I'm
that.
approaching, I said, "Yeah, I remember this gate, man." Then I looked to my right, I saw the auditorium. I was like, "Oh yeah."
Is it
See,
still
that second gate a little different, but still had the same environment with the guard room behind it. And then on the left there was the buttery. The music
Yeah, oh
room is
my
still there.
gosh.
So the structures are still there. So that was when they done them. The first gate didn't give me burning because I can't remember it. It wasn't look like
Okay.
that. But from that second gate, I had flashbacks all the way through.
Auditorium still white or the color changed?
So the change is not brownish, that kind of brown.
Okay, okay. So, wow.
So now, recognition. One guy that actually had an impact on me that was Colonel Alao.
Wow.
I don't think I could name anybody else. In those 3 years, he was a commandant. I don't think I could name anybody else that could top that. In terms of everything, his personality, the neatness, his charisma, his discipline. He taught me so much, just even looking at him from a distance. I never had a personal experience with the guy. Never did, not once. I remember we had a show, a special on Commandant, his 20th anniversary of his death, and we had his wife and Sonjo and the sisters on our show. And I remember how I was in touch, just talking about it like he was my dad. Why do I even appreciate Lawal? My father was a disciplinarian too. He was a principal.
Okay, well, okay,
Yeah,
good.
was
It's a connection.
retired as a principal. So my father was never late. That's why me, I have problem with time. If you are late, you can't be my friend. It's not possible. We fight. It's impossible. If you are not neat, we can't.
I second that too. I don't like lateness. Like if I'm talking about Colonel Lawal and leaving Harrison, I'm always early.
Yes, if you are not neat, you can't be my friend. I mean, so I had so much structure from command and from my dad. So that's Commandant Ilawa was one guy that had a very beautiful impression on me. My bad impression was one senior. I won't call his name. He was in Flying House. That guy.
You're not calling him out.
No, we can't. We
I
can't.
know who he's talking about. But the funny thing, the guy is my friend.
Wow.
He's my friend. He lives in the US. He's my friend.
Have you seen him lately? Have you run into him?
No, I was in.
So if you do, what would you do?
No, we cool now. No, he's my friend. He's actually my friend on Facebook. No,
On Facebook?
no, we just gave that memory lane. That was one guy that made me hate command like mad. I hate it because I was in Form 4 and I was running from the dormitory. Can you imagine? From that guy. It wasn't just me. It was all the Form 4 in Flying House. If you ask any Form 4 in Flying House. Because what made it more painful, it was deeper than you think. It was very, very touching. Because remember, back then it was 5 years before your time.
Yes, exactly.
Form 4 was your breaking year. You came in with long pants as a man. Came with trousers, right? So at that time you have to be an idiot for seniors to pick on you. They don't mess with you anymore. You're a big boy now, right? So everybody look forward to Form 4. That guy killed that moment for us.
Fun of looking forward to Form 4 for you guys.
Killed it. That's why he's so. We remember him very well. And
most people who were in 88 will remember this person being a killjoy.
In Flying House.
Wow.
He was a prefect too.
Let me tell you, if there was a prefect too, yes, that would punch him in his face today. I would like to. That's how much they detested what he did to us. But okay, I mean, that's life though. We good. I don't have a problem with
And
it.
it takes maturity to understand that that is life. And I know some people, not my set, who would still hold things or grudges against seniors. And I remember I didn't, it wasn't so bad for me when I went to command either, because I think I was in between you and Goki, because my sister was there, so I had some kind of leverage. But then there were some people who also targeted me because of my sister. So it was like you had to find that balance. And it's interesting. I know you.
But your sister had finished now. How did she finish before you came in?
No, my sister finished before. Yeah.
She was my mate.
Juniors who met her.
Who met her? Okay.
Because I came in 91.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, so I didn't. There was no 1990 sets because of the transition to 6334 thing. So I came in 91, and for us, the senior year started in SS1, where you started wearing skirts. We still had to wear pinafore from GS1 to GS3, and then in SS1 you had to sew. Some of us, I sew the what's it called, the senior girl style, and the senior took one of each, because my parents made two-day wears. It's reasonable to have 2-day wears for have 2 Sunday whites, and one senior just she took one of each, and I was left with one, and that was how I had to survive until I went home. So back to your stories, it's interesting that you guys were mostly influenced, and the greatest impressions came from the commandants for you. I can speak for the 90s, right? I think it switched, the table turned. It was more about the AO, and I hear you guys talk about your RSMs. I can't remember who was the RSM in my sets.
Wow.
That is how much power and dominance the AO had. I remember we'll be singing common secondary school students, and the AO then, I think his name was Captain Zarewa, will go, I can hear you. He was the one we all kind of, and we had several commandants. We had Colonel Ukuts during my set, and we had Colonel Echo during my sets. So we had 2 commandants coming within my 6 years of being in command. But back to you guys. So it's good to hear the difference and how things changed over time, and the fact that the commandants were like the main focus for you guys. So now let's go into this whole idea of, and you have both touched on it. You said timing. For you, the deal breaker is if you're late to the party. It's no. So that is about discipline. It's one of the things that, has shaped who you guys are, but it's also an experience you took away from command. Now let's build on those and talk about other things and other experiences that shaped who you guys are today. Things that maybe happened back in the day and how it's, influenced you. So now let's talk about your experiences. I'll start with you, Ife, because you're still on the screen right now. Let's talk about those things that have shaped you to become Mr. or Dr. Ife Dapolo.
I told you, I mentioned earlier that I hated command. Because it was just an environment I didn't want to be in. You get sick, they will punish you, the food at times most time was not good. It was just painful. You go home
on that.
You're coming back home to school, you are scared. So but looking back, I have no regrets. Because for over 20 years I had nothing to do with command. Nobody will believe this. Seeing me right now, president of the North American chapter, going to command, doing all these things, meeting with the national. You would never believe for over 20 years I did not deal with command.
Was it a personal choice, or was just by the virtue of you being busy, or not just?
No, it was personal. I hated that school at that point. It took me so many years. So that's why I can relate when people tell me they're not ready. When I'm trying to pull people in, I can relate. Everybody is not ready to do alumni. Everybody will never do alumni. Some people will come in and become the next president. You never know. So it was that bad. But by the time I got connected again, thank God for my guys in the 88 that drove me out to do a reunion in Atlanta. And that was when we gave birth to ANA chapter, mind you. That was when I really remembered, it took me that long, how powerful command was in my life. So I'm looking back to all this regimented lifestyle I had in command. I said, no wonder I got cuckoo small. You know what I'm saying? I have to get up and leave my bed. If I don't leave my bed, I'm incomplete.
Okay.
My toothbrush and
Inspection,
toothpaste.
Saturday's inspections.
Oh yeah, my toothbrush and toothpaste to be certain way. When there's a place I put my underwear, my socks, all those things. They're different spots. When I hang my clothes, they're different spots. When I do laundry, so I'm so structured that even I'm a great cook. I cook like crazy.
Wow.
And that came from
In cooking commando, were you one of those who
let me tell
doing
you.
those?
Remember what when we go read farm, I was the cook. So when they go read farm or sometimes I go read with them, I'm the one in the hostel that'll be boiling rice, boiling the corn, boiling cassava. I was a cook, so I would took that with me to OEU, and so that transformation is who I am today. If I tell you command, I have nothing to do with them right now. Even I went to Ife now, and I was there. I had a great time in Ife, but those formative years was what structured me to even go into Ife. So when I went to Ife, I didn't have to join a cult. Commander taught me to be very self-dependent.
To be a very riot squad.
I didn't. Yeah, thank you. Also, I didn't need as much as they needed because I was very buff. I was always in the gym, so I didn't need any group to define effect. I was just comfortable coming from that jungle. Man, I'll tell you this: you people are small boys.
You call it jungle right now.
I said jungle was a jungle back then, But to be honest with you, I look back now. Look at us now. We're all talking. We have this platform. We have the NA chapter. We have all these people we're dealing with on the forum. Whether we fight, we make up, all that stuff. That's part of the fun of going to command. That I can see somebody from 2014 and they could connect. When I went to school 2 weeks ago, you could see how those kids were looking at me. Like they're beginning to connect. Like this man finished in command. They couldn't believe it. They were just sizing me up like,
are you for real? Yeah.
I'm serious. They were sizing me up like, you came to this school? Yeah, so my whole transformation in my whole life. If I had to learn having kids and being married for almost 20 years, it took me, I had to tone it down. I had to. You had to, because kids, they'll mess up the other, like,
yeah.
But now they're grown, but still now, if I look at my kitchen, there's no need, they're in trouble.
That sounds like me.
Let me tell you, my kitchen is always, they know me, they know my pet peeves. My bathroom can be dirty, my kitchen can be dirty, I'm going to fight. If all of them are now, just keep them dirty.
Wow. Okay, so and you already kind of stepped in, and you're leading into the next set of question. The next question I was going to ask you, which is about if you were going to send your kids to command, if you had the opportunity to, with all that you've learned, the discipline and the self-dependence and being able to kind of roll yourself without needing anybody to validate you. Some of those things that you got out of command, and I was going to ask you that question. So let's just keep it locked first, but let's go to Goke. Goke, let's talk about the experiences. How did this experience shape who you are today?
So for me, I always believe preparation meets opportunity, right? And that's one of the things my dad used to preach to us, even when I was in primary school. So I would say, even in primary school, going to command training school, having my dad who moved to officer was very strict and has a framework for us. So command inspired confidence in me. When I was in command, I was not confident at that time. It's later in life, and I'll say that it is years later, like to what Ife said earlier, that I didn't like command when I was there because I was having anxiety a lot. And our military driver, whenever he was taking us back to command, you just notice that me and my brother and I would be quiet. But if you finish your image, you'll be, yabbing us and stuff. We were thinking of all the people that are going to kill us in our junior years. And so, that I was very timid that time. I learned how to be stealth and stuff, to be able to run away from seniors and everything. But as I evolved in life, then I left Nigeria.
About stealth, let me interrupt you. Back then, did you guys use this term called fencing?
No.
Fencing.
Fencing, but I call it stealth now. Because I'm very good at doing that.
Call it fencing.
Fencing.
Like 07.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. But now I know how to be stealth very, very well, to be shown even in my professional career, and I know how to count. So that impulse control, I know I can't hold that back. But it's inspired from them because a couple of things, that I didn't realize that happened like in 1999. I left Nigeria in 96. In 99, I had a very horrible accident in the US, and it took me a while to recover from that and get back into that resilience and pushing myself. We live in a place in this part of the world, it's about merit. It's not about who your dad is and stuff from back in Nigeria days. So I was able to push myself, and I think that discipline, from both observing Colonel Alao and RSN pushing us those days, Ajayoba, made me to keep pushing, and also my dad, my parents, made me to push myself to where I'm at today. I keep pushing myself, and also to be able to give back to people, to mentor. One of the things I believe in, especially Colonel Alao, like together we shall win together, meaning being united and the unity. Even my classmates in 89 said, I definitely have my own crew that were very, very tight and stuff, but everybody were very cordial with each other and respectful to all, to even my juniors and seniors, that we communicate and things. So I think command build that stoutness in me, build that resilience, build that discipline, and also most importantly, something I got from Colonel Alao is being principled in life, and doing the right thing regardless of how difficult it is. And even when you try things and fail, not giving up but coming back to doing it over and over, not being scared. So I think that's one of the things command inspired in me, in that regimental lifestyle, that I still do it till today. A lot of things, like what if I said, making my bed. I'm a very good cook. I learned that from my mom anyway, you understand, that I cook very well. I do a lot of stuff, and I'm also a planner. I plan 10 years ahead, I've always been like that since I was 8 years old. It's something I learned from my parents, but I plan 10 years ahead, 8 years, 5 years, 3 years. So I always plan. So I write it down, things I need to do, then I might make some changes here and there, but the main vision of goal I'm trying to get to, I get it done, regardless of whatever challenges come my way. I will always get that thing done, regardless of challenges, and amongst other stuff. So I think that's that regimental lifestyle that is instilled in me since I was a kid and a teenager, that still stays with me till today.
So while I still have you here, Goke, I know that you've got kids, and so does my president here. So but let's start with, if you have the opportunity, right, to send your kids to command, the way your parents did, to send you to command, you're out of command, you're able to talk about some of the qualities, some of the things, experiences, and how they have shaped you. Would you send your kids to command?
So let me answer your question in two different ways. Okay. If I lived in Nigeria, I have twin daughters, right? If I lived in Nigeria, I would love them to go to command. If I lived in Nigeria, I don't live in Nigeria so much. But what I do is, as I say, I brought the command methodology to my daughters. Okay. Yes, like when I'm talking to them, if they are irritating me or something, they stand at attention. And they stand at, I make them do that. They know. I remember when I first started telling my daughter as my friend, they were like, I'm your daughter, I said my friend. So they know when I say my friend, that is irritated. You understand? They've done a bit of the command punishment, kick pain and all that, and I switch it every 15 minutes, so they're not used to it. So I don't like beating, but they've done a few of those, frog jump, and that's even what inspired part of this. Fly your hands kind of thing. Yes, they've done a few of that. I also have videos of them when they were 6-7 years old, when I started getting them to make their bed. Because I was telling them about commanding when they were 5 or 6 years old. Then they were so interested. They said, we would like to make our beds to do what you did yourself. I said, really? So I have videos of them where I'll make them make their bed by 6:45 before they get ready. Even my mom was there. My mom was laughing. I could leave this guy. I said, no. They have to learn. So they make their beds. No, they say make bed. They make their bed. So I will wake up I will go into their room. They've gone to shower and everything. When I say 6:45, you have to be inside. So when I walk open the door, I'm like, attention, they salute. I literally have these videos. So are you still relieving command in your home right now? No, I have to bring that structure. You have to capture kids when they're 5 and 6. So that's why they're 14 now, but they're very strong. Like when we travel, like I was in Toronto 3-4 weeks ago, right? And we had to do a couple of things where we had to wake up early. And I'm like, okay, the night before, we're doing, when we travel, especially with my dog, when I travel, I give them the itinerary. We're doing this tomorrow. At this time, we have to leave and stop. And they're ready. They are ready. There's no argument with daddy. So at 7 o'clock, they're ready. We're waiting for you, daddy. That's how it is. That's what my person used to do for us back in the day too. That we hear him sleeping. Next thing, they just see my person sitting down. We were like, when did this guy shower? Stuff like that. So I do the same thing with my girls, that I get them very structured. I tell them what we are doing. I give them my expectations, and they're ready at that time. Yeah, so if I leave the Nigeria, I might have sent them to command to get that experience. Maybe they would have not finished and everything, but to just get that structure. You understand? So a lot of that structure I've taught them today. Now, if I had a boy, I would have wanted him to go to NMS actually. Yes, honestly, I would have wanted him to go to military school, to be more toughened there, and stuff like that. But I don't live in Nigeria, so no, I'm not sending them to Nigeria to go and sit down there while I'm over here. I ain't doing that. So I brought the methodology to them.
Okay,
so they are very structured because of that. Yeah, I did.
Well, that sounds like me a little bit too, because when you talk about the punishment, my son is 9 years old right now, and I've taught him to kneel down, fly your hands, and I'm like, those hands have to be straight. So he feels the pain. He's like, my hand is hurting. Or like, that's what
exactly. That's what I told them.
You find yourself in that situation. So let's go to you. If you had the chance to send your kids to command, and we're going to play a little game after this, just at the point of wrapping up. I'll give you heads up so that you can prepare yourselves mentally. And it's going to be just one word answer from each of you to the questions. No 2 words, just one word. But let's talk about you, Ife. If you had to send your kids to command, would you, if you had the chance to?
To be honest with you, I'll say that from 2 angles. If I wasn't involved the way I'm involved right now, knowing the school, knowing the role the ESCO plays, the PTA, and how the school actually transformed, I'll probably say no. But because I'm so involved, I know what's really going on with the alumni, with the teachers, with the commandants. Especially my son. I have a 21-year-old son. Okay. My daughter is 17. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable sending my daughter there, to be honest with you. Maybe because that's just me. She softened me like crazy.
Okay.
But my daughter and my son, I lie. You go there 10 times. 10 times. I don't care if I live in Iceland. You'll be going to command the party.
Wow.
Yes, it will be okay. I have sisters in Lagos. When you go there on vacation, go back to campus. Yeah, because there's something command gives you. Even right now, because I'm dealing with kids that finished in 2017, 2018, and I still structure. I know there's a change in dynamics, in discipline, but I'm telling you, talking to some of those kids that finished in 2018, they're still structured. They're well learned. They're well spoken. They speak very good spoken English, and I'm like, wow, command. It's not that bad. It's just they give it a bad rep after us. But yeah, they still got quality. People are still dying up to today. There's a commando that's reaching out that wants to send that child to command right now as we speak.
Yeah, I know a few whose kids are there, and that's. I want to ask you, right? You've been there, the previous years, and you've gone back recently. In terms of standard of academic and education, I hear you say it's good. That's what I'm hearing from you. But the life, right? I heard right now that kids don't get to bring their own mattresses and stuff anymore. That is provided by the school. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, but one of the problems is, you see, when I went, something that happened. They told me a commandant actually left and took supplies with him.
Wow.
So they supply even beds and mattresses. So the school have really gone much more. They now have water. They have running water all the time because they have boreholes and taps. Well, back in the days that we used to go to whatever and fetch water. No, that's not like that anymore.
Well, give it to them. During our own time, we had the taps running. When there was scarcity of water, then they would bring tankers.
Exactly.
Yeah, bring tankers to school. You all line up your buckets, and then they just keep filling it through. And so by my set, I mean the 90s, we already had running waters in dormitory and in the bathroom and everywhere.
Or if I don't have time, they gave us mattresses. Oh, I don't remember bringing mattress.
I brought mattresses. I remember
So
bringing
I brought mattress.
I didn't bring mattresses. Mattress that was
Maybe one of those preferential treatment that you had, right?
Which is preferential treatment? I'm not going to be general now.
Okay, you were not a regular student.
See,
I'm not regular. Why?
wait, no. See, we're talking about mattresses now. I took mattress to school, and I don't mean
I know my sister did. My brother and I did not. We use mattresses in school. We use the regular mattress.
Wait now. Nobody they carry it photo of double two.
Thank you.
That's because I didn't start with my steps now. I didn't start the same day.
Even if they had started on that same day, they would have driven you. Maybe they would have even used the siren to take you to the.
My younger brother that started for one, he was in auditorium, and my sister too auditorium. So it's just because I didn't start the exact same day, so as a transfer student, coming from two.
Okay, guys, so you're watching. Go ahead, Ife, go ahead, finish up.
I'm good.
Okay, so guys, you're watching the second anniversary edition of the Naija Commandos for Life. I'm guest hosting. Of course, going forward, you're still going to be seeing Ife and Goki right here, but we just thought that we'll give them that chance to share their own experiences. And it looks like we've gone through the structure of what people are used to hearing on the show. Your experience with this and your children, how has this influenced you? Let's just go kind of rogue right now. And one thing that I want to know personally is, what was your worst punishment and the best one in school?
My best was to go and lay under the bed. That's nothing. Sometimes I would sleep off. Trust me. That was my best. That was the easiest. I thought that you're not asking me to catch a mosquito alive.
Mm-hmm. Did anybody really do that? Because I would think
Oh yeah. And you have to show the senior the mosquito. Yes.
That was brutal.
Oh yeah. So
without killing it.
No, you have to be alive. So they say with the KB. Oh yes. So that means the one that have sucked blood, but they are not there.
And can't fly anymore, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You have to pick it up and show it to them. So but that was my best. It was just not really down there. Like I told you, from one personal experience, it was out rolling on the grass, on the wet grass, being flogged. It wasn't just about the pain of being flogged. That was easy. The itching that grass gave me.
It will give you, I can imagine, right?
Oh my God. It was like an hour of just being miserable, like I wanted to die.
Wow.
That was my worst punishment ever.
Okay, so let's go to yours.
So my best punishment is a senior being pissed and telling me to wash their clothes. That was the easiest. If a senior gives you washing clothes, you have to hide. Even those days when they say, who wants to iron? I always wash clothes, because you iron all night. You seniors be throwing clothes and you be crying. Exactly. So I always prefer washing clothes.
And God bless you, you mix up the shirts.
On the bonnets. So washing clothes. So whenever they say washing clothes, I will now fetch water and go to the back of Octopus house bathroom to go and hide there to wash clothes, so that nobody see me to wash. And then
adding more to you as
exactly. So if you're a sharp boy, you go and hide and wash the person's clothes. You go and dry it and just disappear. You understand? So that was like the best punishment. The worst I have two, one from RSM, one from a senior. The senior one I got him actually suspended for 4 weeks. Okay. It was unfortunate for him. The RSM one, commandant saved us that day. So, and that's when I talk about you being on time and discipline. That punishment made me on time after that. So one time in Form 3, I was taking a shower late and I was with Form 4 boys in Octopus house, and RSM just appeared there with like 12 soldiers. They matched all of us naked, and I had to stand in line. And think about it. RSM used to starch our own. Adariba used to starch that Koboko 6 months, right? So he had us stand in line in a single file. So I was the second person and the only Form 3 boys. Every other person there was Form 4. When they flogged the first boy, they drew the circle. They used to draw the circle. And they flogged him. He was on the floor rolling. You understand? When he was on the floor, the rest of us were crying.
What to you?
We were crying. Because we could see the pain in his eyes. So when it was my own turn, because this was in front of Tiger House that he was doing this, When he flogged me the first one in the line, I took off running. I was almost as coming out. They chased me and brought me back. They brought me back. Then they now, so every other person after me, they were holding them and they were flogging us. Then after that punishment, he had us rushed to go and dress up. He didn't let us take the shower, then marched us to dining hall. Now he now took us, he said we should assemble in front of MIR that afternoon, for going after siesta time. He now took us to where the auditorium is and said we should be digging 6 by 6. We just started crying again. What is this? Wow. On the third day of digging that trench, Commandant was driving out, Colonel Lawal, and saw what's happening here. Then he walked up to us and said, what's happening here? We now say RSM told him, okay, what did you do? We now told him. We just told us that we should leave, that we talk to RSM. That's how we got out of that 6 by 6. Wow. So that's I can't forget that one. I was crying every day, me being the most junior. Like, what kind of nonsense is this? Are we going to war?
For girls, I think we didn't really get those extreme punishments. So it was kind of different for us in girls' hostel, right?
But what do you think happened to me after that? I'm always on time. I cannot go through that again. I'm always on time.
That extreme to get to understand. The punishment, I don't think had to be that extreme.
No, I think no. So I'll tell you why I was late. That was when they gave me bathroom to wash or toilets. You have to wait for everybody.
Everyone is done, true?
Exactly. So I had to beg my house captain. You understand? Please, I think it was on Sunday. So because he knew what happened to me, he now said, okay, I should just do it. You understand? And I can come back later, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's how I was able to get. So what happens is he let us go. Then after food, we will quickly rush back and do the last cleaning. You understand? Because you can't force seniors to not shower. They don't burn you well. So, and they will come in late to shower. So we couldn't force them. So we cleaned what we could, but he would make us come back later to clean, then go back to class and stuff. So that's why I hated bathroom cleaning. It was annoying because of that incident. Because Commandant comes to inspect during classes. Okay. So not Commandant, RSM. Okay. Yeah, and then we flogged the house captain. So that's how we did it. For senior, so that's RSM's one. For senior, it was a senior in Form 5 when I was in Form 4. And that's why I remember also that we used to bring that they gave us mattresses. This senior had a Form 1 or 2 boy, Form 1 boy, that was always pissing on his mattress. And the senior was always making him exchange mattresses with other people. You understand? And he was pissing on it every day. So when he came to me and he now took my own mattress, I beat him up. They bought you, are you crazy? I was in Form 3 or in Form 1, even you were there. So he went to tell the school father, that one now started fighting me. You understand? Yeah, I should release the mattress. I'm not releasing. And the guy started punishing me every day. Because I said, no, I told him I'm not sleeping on this mattress. I stood my ground.
That's even crazy.
Yeah, I said I'm not sleeping on that boy. I know him now, but every day his brother was weak. So I knew him very well for pissing on mattress. So when he kept telling me to release it every day, I said I'm not releasing it. He will be beating me. So one day, unfortunate for him, and normally a senior would maybe beat you for a week or a couple of days, but this guy was doing it into week 2. Wow. So on one particular day, maybe on a Wednesday or a Thursday, he was now slapping me and beating me that I should release the mattress. I said I'm not releasing anything. So I now got pissed. I just had the courage, and as he was flogging me well, to grab the belt from him and flog him back. You understand? Wow. Then I did an about turn and took off. So he now had Form 3 and Form 4 boys to chase me. I was in Form 3. So I was now running out of school, out of the dorm. I took off. I was Ben Johnson that day. Unfortunately for him, and I did not know that was going to happen that day. Unfortunately for him, that day, the GOC was inspecting the school, and the director of Army Education, 2 major generals were in school, with Colonel Lawal coming. So as I was speeding, I now saw Colonel Lawal. I saw a whole bunch of soldiers, and they had their orderlies and everything. My speed increased. All of a sudden, I looked back. I just saw all the other guys were putting brake. They all took off. So they saw all what was happening. So as I just got to Colonel Lawal, I just fell down, and I was not crying before. I just started tearing up. There are 21 buckets on each eye, crying, and I now mentioned the senior's name, that he wanted to kill me, and all that, and the generals were there looking, what's happening here? Lawal just said, what was the area that time? Sankara, they called him Sankara, and Ajayoba follow him, go and deal with him. So I now follow them, and the AO was talking to me. What was this about? I now told him. He goes, what? He was trying to make you sleep on place mattresses. So in front of Tiger House, the AO just stood there and shouted his name to crawl out. He now crawled out. Before, say, it took about maybe 5 minutes or 20 minutes where they went to different houses. By the time they came, that from 5 boy was drenched in mud from top to bottom. They dumped him in the gutters there. Anderson was flogging him. They beat him seriously. And the way I love the way the AOD, he just shouted his name to come out. When that one now came out standing, he said, "You're even standing." Hey, they dealt with him. So then we took him to Gadrum, locked him up, and suspended him for 4 weeks. So when we were in Assembly Hall, Colonel Alao talked about that and said, if anybody touches Goketaro, you will join him. And that was when senior stopped that nonsense. You understand? And he warned people, do not exchange mattresses with stuff. Now, the interesting thing about that, they now also changed that where juniors who are pissing on the bed, they will have one boy match them in the night to go and piss, then wake them up in the night to piss again so that they're not sleeping doing that. So they made me one of those to be doing that. So you want wake boys like 9 o'clock, all of you piss, you understand, waiting for them, then they will match guys, then at 2 a.m. you have to go and pick them. When you wake them up, you slap. My friend, get up. Get up. Quick match. You understand? Then you have them piss again. But so for you to wake up in the night to be doing that, you're angry. So they not put me on that duty too. I was pissed. You understand? They were like, hey, you're the one that reported. So
yeah, so you have to. That's gonna be a job for you.
That was a job for me. So I wake up in the night, matching them to go and I used to be irritated with that stuff. Like, don't think so. I beg. You understand? You can't because the house captain will not be happy and pay. So yeah, that was the worst punishment because I did enjoy that beating that he was giving me consistently, and I guess unfortunately from that day that I decided to run was when Commandant had visitors.
That courage that you had is not a courage that many of us would have had back then, because it would always backfire. Because you would suddenly just be passing innocently in front of another house, totally different from your own. And then that senior's gist has gone round that this particular junior reported them, and you just be in trouble. Like,
well, I was lucky because Commandant warned them. They couldn't touch me. They couldn't touch me for a while because they would just say, "Come here, or you think you can report senior?" In my mind, I'm like, "Well, touch me, oh." Touch me.
He's going back to that privilege we talked about for us, please. He was
no, but why will you be telling me to sleep on someone's piece bread? What kind of nonsense? You always get me.
Look, but guys, so that we're aware of time, we want to just keep on. This is so far so good. Naija Commandos for life. You've recorded 60 regular episodes and 2 specials.
Yes.
And one of them was for a late student who happened to have done a lot of great things with the Alumni national body, and the other one was for late Colonel Lawal, who was the commandant in the school. God rest his soul. Let's talk about the inspiration. Who amongst you guys came up with this idea of having a platform? I'm interested in that.
I did. So the thing, I told you how I used to tell my kids about my experience and put them into making their bed. So it was so interesting that they always come to me and they were always laughing of the different experiences. So the interesting thing was, I used to talk to my cousin who went to MMS. We used to talk about experiences. He tells me about his experiences in MMS and stuff. So I now told him that let's do a Commando ex-boy platform, that you bring the ex-boys, I bring the Commandos, and we kind of talk about experience. And next thing he was like doing steps. I was like, "Are you okay? You are judging me." I said, "We happy do that one from Comlag." So he now said he doesn't like talking. He was on our episode 10. His name is KJ. So he was not comfortable being on. Yeah. So I was now talking to Ife about it. Okay, I was talking to my cousin, and my cousin lives in Georgia with him. Okay, to do this stuff, and he was like, if he doesn't want to do, let's do a Commando one. I said, they're like, yes, now let's do it now. We'll get people to come and everything. So he was very gingered. I I'm like, oh, okay. And it has actually been better because I'll put it this way. I'm sure if my cousin and I did it, we'll have not recorded that many. Because it's it's quiet. He's not someone that likes talking a lot. It took a lot to even come on the show, for pulling him over on the show and stuff like that. But if is the one that gets most of the people, I do the editing. I get a few people, so the NMS boys, the Air Force as well. I got those ones because I have a lot of friends that I went to my school with, I went to NMS and stuff like that. So I was able to get those ones. But he has got a lot of people. Yeah, but we've also had people who've emailed us that they want to come on the show from other commands, like Command Jaws and one other school. So we've had some people that went to command children's school that didn't go to a command. I said, we're like, yeah, to command school. We don't want to.
I was going to ask you this, and Goki already answered that question. I wanted to say who does what on this, but let's go to you, Ife. Mm-hmm. You've had 62 amazing and great, inspiring episodes that has told stories from different perspectives. Which has been one of your most memorable episodes for you as a person that has stuck with you?
I think the one that had the commando with our 2 kids currently in command. They were all 3 on our show.
Wow, that's good.
Because actually she's very involved with Alumni. Her name is Joy Nakefose. You probably know her. You probably seen the show. So she had 2 kids currently in command. So they were on the show and they were sharing their life right now. What they great. So I remember them showing their plate, what they eat with. I said, I now have plates. They had the structure plate that was divided plate, and when they put certain food, amala would be here, soup would be. I'm like, So the kids were sharing. They were so funny. It was so funny. I think that was the most one I was connected with. Trust me, we've had a lot of emotional shows where we had to edit. We had some horror stories. But when it comes to just connecting the 2 generations, that was the most intriguing. But the most emotional for me was Colonel Alao. Because of the impact he had in my life. Now dealing with seeing his son, his daughters, and the wife, and sharing with them. You know what I'm saying? Let me go back a little quick about Naija Commandos. Remember, Goki, we started with Commandos for Life, right? Mm-hmm. So we realized there's a Commando for Life that was already existing. Yes. Okay, we have to put that's why we put Naija in front.
Yes. I think it was a command day in a different state, not Lagos. They set up something. Yeah, so we saw it when we were doing research before we started.
So we put Naija for fun, and then boom, just and that was it.
Wow. So the heavy lifting at the beginning, what was it like for you to really put it together, get people to understand the vision? Because that's always kind of the hardest thing to get key into it. And you being the one to kind of, in my profession, they call it chasing the guests. It's not always easy to find the guests. So talk about that a little bit. And where do we see the show going?
Okay. So for me, maybe you guys already know me. I don't give up. I'm very resilient. I don't like to fail. And that's why even the early chapter, I couldn't walk away until I got to this point. You know what I'm saying? I took cooking from day one because I saw the prospect. You know what I mean? And we talked about it. And I knew, this is a good idea. It's a great idea. I bought into it immediately. And I know me. So because I have, even on my Facebook, I have over 4,500 commandos as friends.
Wow.
So I already knew we have the audience. So why not? So we're not giving up. We love it. We know what we do. You should hear what we hear on that show.
But we didn't want to restrict it to just command Ikpaja. So we've had people from other commands. We've had Air Force Military School. We had a couple of NMS come on. So for us, if you went to federal government college or stuff, no, we will not interview you because it's not as interesting because of the regimental lifestyle. So for us, we are still chasing Navy. It's been difficult to get them. I don't know why they always shine away. We bought Air Force. That one is my friend. I actually have 5 friends that went to Air Force Military School. The other ones that just shine away. I'm always yapping them. And my younger brothers went to Air Force too. I mean, what is wrong with you people? You understand? So it's like I don't understand the Air Force thing. But at least we've gotten commands from different commands, which is great, you understand? Command day, we are not too sure about because it's a day school, but we don't think it's going to be that interesting. Because I went to day for the first year.
Discrimination. You guys are using
It's not the same.
Command day. You know that discrimination.
It's not discrimination because even you
we made it. It was established in our intro for the command for Naija Commandos for life. If you didn't go to about for those that went to boarding school, military boarding school.
Yeah, military boarding school.
I have the experience to share.
Exactly. Jimmy, when you went to command day, then you can start your own show and bring command day, folks.
Right? Thank you. Thank you for pointing me in the right direction.
They can see the experience of how they went to eat amala and cried.
Right? And then you have to go for prep. Either you're happy or not, you have to go to the dining hall and you have to deal with a grumpy senior. So did you guys at any point, I know boys talk about it a lot, girls didn't have the chance to scale the fence, to go to Bacha, to go to all those.
There are some girls that do.
There are some things that I cannot call because it doesn't sound very decent to call it where the boys go and eat. Did you guys do that at all?
Yes, we did those ones. Yeah.
I went home now. I skipped and went home.
Wow.
I never went home though, but I've gone back. I've gone to one stream where they went to swim during that time, but I never went there after the first time because the first time I went there with them, snake came out of the water, and that was the last time I went there. Water snake. I'm never going there again. Yes, so but going out to eat, we did that. Then cassava runs, the guys did, but I never killed RSM chicken. That one I never did. I value more. Then in Tiger House, we had some fun kind of tricks we like doing. So at the back of Tiger House, you had the plantation, right? Then after the plantation was a burial ground. So Tiger House was notorious for carrying people who are dead sleepers and going to put them on the grave with their locker. They used to call it Casper those days.
Oh my God.
And because of that reason, I don't sleep deep. That I'm muffing you. Because they did muffin me, but they were never successful.
Nice.
And my friends, I need them, carry me over there because in between when I wake up. You understand?
For someone to lift you off your bed.
Yes.
Carry you.
No, they'll lift. So they like how if you sleep not on a double bunk but single bunk. So they will lift. Each person will hold one side of the bed. You understand? And lift it. So it's 4 people lifting it.
Carried with the bed.
Yes.
I was just going to wonder that someone is carrying you. Won't you feel?
No.
You think you are dreaming? You think you are dreaming?
Then other people will carry your locker and they are following you. So they will now put everything set it. Yeah, wipe their sheets. Then some people will wake up. The funniest one, some people wake up and some people will collapse. Some people wake up and start screaming. That was the funny one. I remember when I went home and I told my mom, she was just staring at me going, in fact, I'm alone, mom. So you need to stop it.
You didn't tell how some people woke up. Some people they had to throw them stuff for them to wake up.
Yes. So we were trying to wake up, they don't wake up. So you know,
you are taking them to the grave.
No, after you put them there, you drop them off, and you are trying to say them, they're still sleeping. So they have to stone them. They now get up, they're looking confused. Then it will dawn on them that they're outside.
What some of you boys have gone back and done.
So in 2017 when Command was 40, Sule and I went to Tiger House, right? So we're like, we were in this dorm, in the 80s and stuff. So we started telling those guys, it was funny. They were like maybe 20 juniors listening to us. When we started telling them about the grave thing, if you see the fear and how they were looking at Sule and I like, then they grave there, one guy, then they grave there now. They were like, people who carry people over to the place were like, They now like, thank God we were not here that time. We were laughing. They were scared.
How do they using the candle to sign your name when you're passing out? Something was here.
Yeah,
there was
no candle.
Something was here. Yeah.
No, we use pens or stuff like that. But when we talk about candle, I remember another thing they did with candle where during prep, if you are sleeping, I know it was iron chairs, so they did that to me too, where they will put a candle under the chair if you are sleeping. So you are sleeping and you're one day they'll be watching you. So next thing you're moving your butt and you're sleeping. Yes, and then you just jump up. Everybody start laughing. Yes, because the chair has gotten hot and stuff like that. So
guys were brutal.
Those guys, because at night boys play by themselves. There are no girls. So that's what we do. They will be like waiting for you. They will now say, who did it? Once you turn to fire, who did it? And they will be laughing. But you will know that it's the whole class, the whole boys.
Prep in the dining hall then? Was it?
Yes.
But after a while that changed. Before I even left, they moved prep back to you going back to your classes.
Oh,
so
really?
we go to class in the evening for prep, the night prep. After dinner, we go, and then from there, maybe about 9 o'clock was when prep was over or something, and then you go back to the dormitory. So when I started, it was the dining hall prepping for girls, and boys would go to classroom or so. But after a while, it switched, and we all had to go to class and then come back. So did any of you kind of join? What's it called? Did you guys have cadets in your time too?
Yeah. We did.
Okay, you had cadets.
They started in our time.
Yeah, started our time and stuff. RSL was very strict on that stuff, the way he dealt with people. And in my set there was a coup during Obidikpe's time where our set had a coup. It used to always happen, really. But for some reason, when they had the new commandant Obidikpe, and my set plan, they go against 88 set, his set, right? Our commandant took it too seriously, like it was a real coup. They tell
us.
So it was weird when they were trying to capture the cadet commander in the senior set. They now say, okay, we've taken over and stuff like that. But it was just a play thing that happened every year. Then when Obidikpe became commandant, the guy took it seriously. They reported it was even in the news. They reported it to 9th Brigade, and they now brought soldiers. Like it wasn't that serious. It was a play thing. You understand? But he took it very seriously. Because they dealt with the people in our set that were part of it, and so it was. So I think after that they didn't do all those kind of things again because they were scared. But it was fun. Command was very much fun. I think we enjoyed a lot of things. And to the prep thing you said also. I also didn't like that it was only boys at night. You know why? Because a lot of fights used to happen. People used to fight themselves, boxing used to happen. Because I remember the day me and one of my classmates, to blessed memory, Emmanuel, fought, right? In Form 3 or Form 4. And they now caught us. And they made the two of us stand on a locker and do motorcycle.
Okay.
Now, I pity Emmanuel because Emmanuel was bigger than me. Emmanuel kept dropping off the table because he was big. He couldn't stabilize, so he would drop off and they flog him. He would climb on top. Then I was there like suffering, and I was there for a long time. But he kept dropping off, and they were flogging the two of us consistently and everything. So after that, if they say to fight, I won't fight in class anymore. No, I was not doing that anymore because I didn't enjoy that motorcycle on an uneven locker. You understand? Where you're trying to kind of, stabilize yourself to do motorcycle because of where you and someone were fighting. So I remember that one, Manuela and I were doing motorcycle on the locker. Yeah, that was so fun.
So while we're still on this, is there someone you've always wanted to have on this show that you've not been able to get on?
Oh yeah, Uncle Iman.
Another son too.
Yeah. Which of the others?
Uncle Iman is actually a primary target because he's seen everything from day one.
Liberian.
I was just within 2 weeks ago, so we talked about it again. So it's coming next month, between August and September. It should be on this show.
Have you guys thought about bringing the AO in our sets?
I'm not sure he's alive. Is he alive?
No, he's alive. He's a major general.
Okay. You know the thing about Jimmy, there's something about the military personnel. They don't come on these shows.
Yeah, they don't come. Yeah, they don't come. Military personnel don't come. We've actually approached them.
Many of them.
Yeah, many of them. Even for other commands and MMS, they're like, no, they can't.
Ex-students who are now in the military as well.
Yeah, there's something about they can't do anything YouTube if they are serving officers and stuff like that. Yeah, so the policy with the military, so they can't do it. So we respect that. We just respect that. Yeah.
Guys, I want to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to, guest host this. It's been an amazing time. And I think of, learning and hearing your experiences, how those things differ, how the school has evolved up till now. So the little game that I was thinking we're going to play at the end of this is, if I say, certain things, what's the first word that comes to your mind? So I will start with you, Jumoke, that if I say Comlag, what's that first word that comes to your mind?
Discipline.
Okay, for you, what about you?
For me.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the first thing that came to my mind too.
Discipline. Okay. Yeah. All right. So for you, Jumoke, Tiger House.
The best house ever. We're the ones we bring all the refugees. No, this is a fact. In our junior years, right?
Just one word now. She said one word.
Okay, so best house.
Best house. No, he's using best house now as a compound word. So best house. All right. Yes. So what's your own? If I say flying us?
Scoping.
I was in flying.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. That's scoping too.
You don't know what I'm talking about. You
doesn't know. Yeah.
When you say scoping, you want to explain to us? Do boys understand?
Okay. All right. Yeah, boys understand.
Okay.
We were very close to the dining and everything, right? All those areas. So the girls, when they were during night prep, we saw them firsthand. We were very close to seeing them a lot. So that's what we were scoping. We couldn't keep the dining hall. We actually snuck into space to go and toast girls. So
wait, so let me ask you, when you get into the school, there is that open space that you have on the right. Well, this might be different in your set, but I'm just trying to get a clear understanding of where Flying Us House, was or is. If it's still the same spot.
It's still the same.
When you come in, there is the building that has the MIR, the music room and everything. And then afterwards, you have the Intratech building, building, and then, so which house actually backs the dining hall? That it used to be a pink or so building when I was there. Like, it's the first building you will see. It's backing, it's a back because there's no doors.
That's Dragon House.
Okay, so Dragon House.
So Dragon House and Flying Us.
Flying Us was facing dining hall.
Directly.
Okay.
Yeah, but also Dragon House, part of Dragon House too. Yeah. So you see Dragon House comes first. On the left, Dragon House Flying Us. Then on the right is Scorpion, Octopus. Then at the end, after RSM's house, RSM's house back then was Tiger House, was the last house.
Okay, and I used to wonder how boys used to sleep because all of your windows were empty. There was nothing there.
There was nothing.
Yeah, they used to sit down to jump through the window when the seniors come in and check on them.
But they built more hostels. So between the MRR, the former technical drawing building,
yes,
it's not a hostel.
Oh.
So they've separated the seniors from the juniors. Yeah, that was how they were able to control bullying. So SS1 to SS3 is in a different hostel. GS1 and to 3 they're separate now.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. And how is that working for them?
I guess it's working out because the bullying was just so much, and they were able to contain it with separating those. It's actually worked well.
Oh, okay. So we stopped at Tiger Flying Us. The final thing is, if I say 88 set, what comes to you?
I'm sorry?
If I say 88, one word.
I'm trying to be nice, really.
Okay, no, you don't have to be. We're just bearing it all out. Yes.
Let me be nice.
Okay.
Smart. Because in the 18th set, we had the best SWIC result.
Oh.
We had the best SWIC
for the set. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's true. That's true. No, I don't know about, but his set had the best. Actually, somebody in his set had the best result in the country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So our set 88 was known for that in 88 sets. The 80 set, we had the best result in the command.
Oh, okay. So, 89. Camaraderie. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
For 89, we have a fantastic camaraderie within all of us and stuff.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, for 89.
Okay, now I don't know where to place 97 here. I just feel we're good. We're trying. We're holding it.
So we're very good. You know, if you've been with people for 5 years, you know, we support each other. You know that, you know, we talk. You know, there's fight definitely. You know, but we resolve it with each other and stuff like that. Everybody has their little cliques too of different people, but we are very cordial, and that camaraderie is there, supporting each other, both those at home and those in the diaspora. You know, we're always very supportive and listening. We're not be as active with some of the groups, but we're also always supportive.
Oh, okay. So, well, it's I'll just use this opportunity for a shout out for my set. This is a 25th year that we've left Command. So we're having something coming up later on in the year. So Command 97, this is a big shout out to you guys. I'm just stealing your platform to do this for my group. So thank you so much, guys. I really, really enjoyed my time hanging out with you. Goke Taiwo is right here on the screen, and he finished in 89. He was in Tiger House, and Goke and Ife, who you're about to see right now, Ife Olowe finished in 1988, and he was in Finals House. And both of them are the originators of this platform that we have to share experiences about Command. Thank you, guys. Is there any other thing I've not asked that you want to add?
Well, I'd like to have you and your set come here for your 25th anniversary, so we can interview you guys. You guys can reminisce, maybe your president and stuff, and bring them over here. Let's ask you guys questions and how you're reminiscing and how you guys have come through. So yeah, we don't mind like 5 or 6 people. Like we have
I will let them know. I will let them know on the platform. And thank you for the great work you've done with Command NA chapter. I know that you're the president on Easy Lies, the head that wears the crown. It's not always an easy thing, so we appreciate all that you've done. And for you, Goke, I want to say big thank you, because you've always represented, like the chapter representative of the national body. So both of you have played key roles in bringing us to where we are right now. So thank you so much, guys. And wishing you the best with the show as we continue to hear this good experiences and this taking us a trip in time to I think it's memory.
We'll bring you back on another special edition, okay? Yes.
You've done fantastic.
You're doing so well right now. We have to bring you back.
Thank you.
When we're interviewing someone else, we'll bring you as a guest host to join us.
Anything for Command Lagos. You guys, it has shaped me, and good memories, bad ones, good ones, but I think overall it's got a great impact on my life and shaped who I am today.
We appreciate you accepting the invite.
Yeah, we do. We really appreciate it. Thank you. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. So have a great week ahead and stuff.
I will, and you too, and you too.
All right.
Cheers.
Okay.
Bye.
Now, Abby? Yes, sir. There's 2 things I want you to get clear. Some of you will join us in America. Amen. Amen. Some of you in London. Amen. Canada. Yeah, Canada. Australia. Fine. Good. But what I'm saying is this. What I'm don't go too far. Everybody,